What is up, guys? It's Max Merck here, and today we've got a quick video on how to replace the rear sunshade on the W209 Mercedes CLK. Now this applies to the coupe, and that applies to the years 2003 through 2009 in the North American market. So this is the car. We've got right now the seats folded forward, as well as the rear seats folded down. So if you pull this pull handle on the seat bottom on both sides, you can flip these forward, and then in the trunk, you go ahead and open the trunk. There are two levers that you can pull here and here to fold the backrest forward. So the way this process should go is there are going to be two covers right there and there in the headliner. I've already popped them out. These are the airbag labels. They have SRS airbag, and as you can see, it's two clips that are held in there, and they have this little retaining piece that needs to slide out. So those pop out from there. I used a trim removal tool, or you can use a flathead. If not, you can go ahead and get it from the sides that way, so you don't risk breaking the clips. And then that looks to be a T20 or T25, one of those Torx bits. So that comes out, and then there are going to be clips that you're going to want to grab from back here, here, and here. So you're going to want to get a trim removal tool, something like this maybe. That's what I've been using, it as a flat portion, and then it has this that you can reach back there and kind of pry it up. Then you just grab that, pull it down, and then there are going to be two clips. You see there's one right there, and this one this has been taken out already, but there's that rubber grommet. You got to pull that rubber grommet off, and then that is a push pin. So you're going to use a push pin removal tool, or once again a flathead, and pry the top of that push pin out, and then pull the retaining base out, and then we should be able to start sliding this rear shelf out. And then there are going to be three bolts that hold the sunshade in place. So that's going to be a quick little overview before we start. And then this is our replacement unit. Now this piece is no longer available from my understanding from Mercedes. So this one has been pulled from the pick and pull yard. I went to one not too far away from me, and there was a 2004 CLK 500. Now this is a 2005 CLK 55, but they're going to be the same part across all CLK Coupe models. So I ran the VIN number of the car that was at the junkyard, made sure that it had a rear sunshade. I think that was an option on these cars, so it did have it. So went over there. Luckily, rear shelf and everything was intact. The car was pretty picked clean. I don't have any pictures of it, but I went in there, and it's quite a bit easier getting it out of the junkyard car, because you don't need to worry about breaking things. You know, along the way, you can kind of just tear your way through until you get to what you need. But on your actual car, you will have to be a little more cautious not to be breaking clips, breaking, you know, everything along the way. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, there are three bolts at the bottom here. 1, 2, 3 down there that hold it in place. Those go from the trunk. And then there are some, I guess, some little mounting clips right there that came off of the junkyard car. And there's a plug over to the right. So let's go ahead and slide this in, see how things go. Now, next up, just to get a little bit more access room back here. I don't think it's necessary, but I did it just to get a little bit more room to reach around. But you can pop these grills off for these kind of speedster humps that sit back here on the shelf. So you can just gently pop up and then pull forward to pull these out. And I'm just going to go ahead and slip these into the trunk there for safekeeping. And that just gives a little bit more room. It makes it more of a flat surface. At least on this side, you have the subwoofer here, but just a little bit more room to work with and pull. But as you can see, I've gotten this loosened, and you have to just kind of tug and pry it out. So this is one side, C-pillar paneling off. As you can see, you have these clips that kind of slide in there, and then there's two right there and there, and then one kind of right there for the Torx bolt. So when pulling, you kind of want to pull it forward towards the front of the car, and then in towards the center of the car, and then tilt the upper part kind of inside, if that makes sense. So kind of out, or sorry, front, in, and then tilted, and just kind of pry it out because it's caught on these bottom clips. So you kind of want to lever it out, and then there's a cutout right here to slip the seatbelt out. So once you have that out, you have a lot more space. As you can see now, this rear shelf loosens up. So let me go ahead and get this side out as well. So now we come to the trunk, and we'll go ahead and loosen these three 10mm nuts. One there, one in the center here, and then one off to the right. So let's go ahead and get those one by one. There's one. Let's go ahead and get the second off to the side here. And then last one here in the center. All right, so once you've gotten those bottom bolts completely loosened up, it's really just a matter of unplugging the connector off to the right. It's just going to be a matter of squeezing the sides, and you can gently pull that off. And then after that, it's really just finessing it out. It is a very wide panel, and in my case, it is going to be a lot more difficult with the sunshade stuck in the up position. It's going to be more of a balancing act. If it was down, then you can get that shelf off easily, or you can kind of finesse the whole assembly out in one piece. But this way, it's a bit difficult. But regardless, it was a matter of kind of pulling the paneling up and kind of shimmying it out from an angle, because you can't really get it if you pull it straight out. So I pulled like one side out from one side on this side, and then kind of tried to pry it out slowly without damaging anything. And now that that is out, I haven't transferred I haven't attached the junkyard shade that I have to the paneling yet, because I wanted to hook it up and test it out. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and just put it into the car right now, just to test it out and see if things work. So pretty much just slid it in there, and normally you can see it has these things for, what's it called, for the panel that kind of keep it in place. So normally we would attach that to the rear shelf and put them all in one piece, but right now I'm just testing it out to make sure it works. So I put it in there, I put the three 10mm nuts in, just hand tightening it, and then I hooked up that cable right there to test if it works. So if we go in here and test it out, so if we go ahead and hit that right there, beautiful. Go ahead and hit it one more time. We are in business. Perfect. So now we are good to go ahead and transfer the sunshade over to the rear parcel shelf, and then go ahead and reinstall everything in reverse order. All right, now that is the old sunshade, which is stuck in the up position, taken out, and I've gone ahead and I've mounted the junkyard sunshade on here. It looks like there's some clips that have been broken off by the previous guy, because the previous owner did tell me that he tried to repair this motor in the past, and as you can see, there's some electrical tape around that motor, whereas this one doesn't have any. So I guess there is some evidence of someone being in there in the past, but you know, most of these retaining clips are still intact. And then there are two down here. This one was good. This one had come off of the carpeting material, so I just took some Loctite glue, put it on the back, glued it on. This is what it looks like. This is what it came off of on the junkyard unit, but that sticks on down there just like that. So I just took some Loctite, glued it back on, and then this mounts onto that. And it really doesn't do much. It just kind of keeps it aligned and in the right place. So we want to make everything perfect as much as we can. And you know, one of these was a little bit loose, so I went and put that in the right place for the indicator for when the seat's folded. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe give this shelf a little bit of a cleaning while it's out, or maybe I'll just go ahead and stick it in there and clean it while it's in there. But yeah, now we are good to go and reinstall in reverse order. All right, guys, now I've got everything buttoned up here and finalized. So basically everything is in reverse order. Once you have the sunshade attached to the rear shelf, you're gonna go ahead and carefully shimmy that in back into place, get that in there. After that, you pop in the clips that go right there and there in the center, secure that shelf down. After that, you can put these side panels back on, and then you wanna make sure that the clips on the side go actually into the rear shelf. You'll see that there are some cutouts into the rear shelf to kind of combine the two and put some pressure on the rear shelf. So once you do that, that kind of secures the rear shelf into there. You know, make sure everything is lined up. You know, I made sure this seal is tucking over that panel. Put the Torx bolt back in there, bolt it up, pop that cover back on, and then you are good to go. So last step is to just test it and make sure it all works. Go hit it one more time. As you see, it goes ahead and tucks itself in perfectly as it should be. Let's go ahead and do it one more time.